spliced the main brace was hoisted in a merchant ship. The four-engined bomber of the Red Air Force that brought Mr. Molotov to Britain landed, well, somewhere in the north. A well-kept secret shared by very few. The arrival ceremony followed the usual routine, except that the Soviet Foreign Commissar inspecting the Guard of Honor was still wearing his warm flying rig. Then the party returned to the giant aircraft to change out of their flying clothes before driving to the station to take the special train south. Mr. Molotov enjoyed an English breakfast on the train, but not quite so austere as it looks there. Over the Forth Bridge. At a small station outside London, Mr. Eden and Lieutenant General Nye, Vice Chief of the Imperial General Staff, were there to meet Mr. Molotov and his staff, who had already been joined by the Soviet ambassador. In complete secrecy, but with the utmost cordiality, the Russians were made welcome in every way, except by the weather, and I dare say that seemed pretty mild to Russians. A walk to the cars, and then away to London. Then on to work with a brief interval to film this historic meeting between Britain's great Premier and Stalin's emissary at a heavily guarded number 10. From the moment that Hitler flung his armies against the Soviet, Mr. Churchill promised all aid to Russia, a promise that Britain has zealously and fully carried out. Now the seed of friendship planted then comes to fruition. Mr. Maisky, by the way, who has done so much to interpret one country to another, today interprets for our visitor. These historic pictures, though they illustrate the new, firm Anglo-Soviet friendship, cannot convey all the hard work put in by leaders of both countries which brought about the Treaty of Alliance. The Treaty of Alliance was signed at the Foreign Office, Mr. Molotov and Mr. Eden putting their names to the documents in the presence of the leaders of all parties constituting His Majesty's government. Quite a business, the actual signature, and it was followed by speeches from both foreign secretaries.
Under the impact of war, we have found that understanding which escaped us in the uneasy years of peace. The treaty which we have just signed engages us to continue the struggle together until the victory be won. On behalf of my colleagues, I give you the pledge that there will be no wavering in this endeavor on the part of the government or the people of these islands. Such then is the first chapter of our task, the overthrow of Hitler and the destruction of all that his regime stands for. But there is a second chapter also to our treaty. One day the war will end. One day the common enemy will be defeated and there will be peace again. We must see to it that this time peace endures.
It needs no words of mine to underline the importance of the event, which embraces the urgent task of a second European front in 1942, alliance till victory, and alliance for reconstruction when victory has brought peace again.